Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Michelle, and today I wanted to show you what my gluten-free kitchen looks like, and some tips of having a gluten-free kitchen, and some hidden sources of gluten that I have found over the last 9 months of being gluten-free. So if you're new here, I'm Michelle, like I said. I have a 4-year-old daughter who has celiac disease, so we are a gluten-free family. I also have what I would consider a minimalist kitchen. I don't have a lot of gadgets and accessories, which is probably good, since when we went gluten-free I had to scrub and clean this entire kitchen and get rid of some of the few things I did have because there was no way to get the gluten off them. And I'll explain more about that when I come across some of the things. But yeah, let's turn you around, show you what we got. Alright, this is an overview of my kitchen. And this is normally what it looks like. I cleaned up after dinner, but these are all the things that are left out. So let's start with the silverware drawer. Now I used to have a really nice bamboo drawer organizer, but I had to get rid of it because there was crumbs in it, and what you'll learn about bamboo and wood, such as wooden utensils or wooden spatulas, you cannot get the gluten off that. No matter how much you scrub or use the dishwasher, it's not going to come out of wood. So you just have to replace them. So these are all new, obviously. After I scrubbed down my kitchen and cleaned everything thoroughly, I replaced some things I had to get rid of. It's the same with spatulas. Gluten can hide in the cracks of plastic and silicone-like materials, so if there's a crack in it and it came in contact with something containing gluten, whether it be you're making brownies or bread, whatever it was, that would now have gluten in it and there's no way to get it off, so you'd have to replace it. So, those are new. Luckily, stainless steel is a good option. Even if it gets a scratch, you can still manage to get the gluten out of it. So stainless steel, so obviously we have this, and again, it's just on a towel now. Again, stainless steel tongs, stainless steel measuring spoons. This one is brand new, plastic. And then my meat thermometer, which is also stainless steel. So again, not pretty, not Pinterest worthy, but it works. Alright, down here we have the kids' snacks and my one baking pan. I used to have more, but again, non-stick surfaces. And you see how it's got that little discoloration. That's where the gluten would stick. This is obviously brand new baking sheet. Non-stick surfaces aren't a great option because the gluten sticks to them. You can't get it off. Dishwasher won't get it off. You can't scrub gluten away in a lot of things. You can't run it through the dishwasher. You can't boil it off. You can't heat it off. In this bin I have my girls' gluten-free snacks that they can just access in there, and these are just bins I had in the house. Obviously they're plastic, but they haven't come in contact with any gluten, so they're open. Then in this big container is more gluten-free snacks and chips and stuff. And the lids are pretty much just to keep my 11-month-old out of everything. But again, we do have a few plastic items, but they have not come in contact with gluten since we've been gluten-free, so those are okay. So that is the bottom drawer. Got my dishwasher. These are fake drawers. Down here I just have cleaning supplies, so vinegar. I have cleaning rags in those bins. And then in this big tub here I have cleaning supplies, bathroom cleaner, that kind of stuff. Again, it's in a bin to keep my 11-month-old, but again, you need to look at things like your dishwasher detergent. Is that gluten-free? This is gluten-free, but that could be a hidden source of gluten if you're not careful. Vinegar. Depending on how it was distilled, you need to look into if your vinegar is gluten-free. Same with apple cider vinegar. And then this drawer is empty, like I said, minimalist kitchen. I don't utilize every drawer in my house. This is kind of like a pantry storage. We don't have a pantry in this kitchen, so kitchen bags, extra detergent, baking soda, my canning pan, my Yonana's maker again. This is brand new after we went gluten-free, so that's to make banana ice cream. Some extra snacks and stuff is kept down here, and ketchup in the back there, and you can't really see because it's dark, but that's it. There's something else in the back. Alright, this is the towel we use for drying dishes. It's replaced every night, and the hand towel here is replaced multiple times a day just because it gets dirty. There's nothing in any of these drawers. Like, I could store the hand towels here and stuff, but they fit fine under the sink, and then the kids don't get into them. So all those are empty. Still had to clean them when we went gluten-free though. Obviously, the stovetop can be a big source. I scrubbed the stovetop as best as I could, but I'm sure there's crevices that still contain it. I do the best I can. Took the knobs off, scrubbed those really well, scrubbed the inside of the oven, scrubbed every part I could. But I'm obviously not going to buy a new stove. So I'm doing the best I can with it. I'm just very careful when I touch surfaces, and I wash my hands regularly when cooking our food. Right over here. Again, nothing. Just because you have drawers doesn't mean you need to fill them up. On drawers, I have my mason jars. I have my vases for flowers, and there's a couple there. Down here I have my fruit basket. We don't have any fruit. Well, we have oranges, but that's it. But this is for the bigger fruit, or the banana holder right here. And again, another pot to hold plants. This is kind of just extra storage. These are my canning, so I have zucchini relish, jams down here. I have a drying rack. This summer our dishwasher broke, so we have that, and this is the attachment for my son's high chair, and he's not using that right now, and that's the extra fridge drawer. So again, we just use that as extra storage, and it goes back pretty far, but we don't really need anything in there. And then throw back to this fridge. How many of you still have a fridge with a top and bottom like this? I did remove the pictures and stuff we have up there for privacy. On this side here, toaster. Obviously the toaster would be a big source of gluten. You need to have a brand new toaster when you go gluten-free. So that is brand new. Here we have my dog supplies, treats, dog medicine. This is a vegetable peeler processor thing, and it can do shredding too, so it's a multi-purpose tool. Again, didn't come in contact with gluten, scrubbed it down, should be fine. These are the attachments to my son's sippy cup. This is the one and only, oh no, I have 2 pans I use now. I had to get rid of the majority of my pans. But this is called a 4th burner pan. So it's got again, stainless steel. So it's less likely to get gluten in it if it does come in contact. So again, I use this for boiling, I use it for steaming. I no longer own a strainer because strainers can be a source of gluten. You have to buy a new one if you went gluten-free. There's no way to get it out of the crevices. This has the attachment, so I can just drain it like that, so I don't need a strainer anymore. One thing I wanted to mention, when you have pots and pans, and you've recently gone gluten-free, you need to look. A lot of them will have, see where the handle is here? A lot of them will have indents on the inside. Now, you might not think much of that, but that can be a source of gluten. If I made regular pasta in this pan, and it touched these little dots where the handle were, gluten would be stuck in there. So every single time I cooked with this pan, I would be putting gluten in my food. That's cross-contamination. So keep in mind, look at your handles, look at your stuff you're using. So that goes back up there. On the top shelf, my husband's lunchbox, and then the dishwasher that holds the little sippy cup compartments and little toys. Alright, this is the one and only pan I use right now. It's copper, easy to clean. The sad part, I have Le Creuset cast iron. I had a beautiful cast iron frying pan. I had to get rid of it. There was no way to get the gluten off it. I have kept the enameled ones because I've read that enameled cast iron, since it has that extra coating, should be okay. I'm not entirely sure. My daughter was tested not too long ago and she was still being exposed to gluten, so I decided to do a more thorough cleaning and a more thorough usage of what I'm using, what's causing the gluten, what's cross-contaminating. So I don't actually use any of these right now, but I'm keeping them in hopes that I one day can, because I love my Le Creuset. So this is my one frying pan that pretty much cooks all of our meals. And we are a family of 5, and this little guy works just fine. And same with that pot up there. That pot can do everything. It can steam, it can boil. So you don't need a lot of things. You don't need 5 different pans to do different things. If I have to do sauce and pasta and vegetables, it gets interesting, but you make it work. Stainless steel mixing bowls. Again, stainless steel is your best option. I have a brand new bamboo cutting board. Cutting boards can be a big source of gluten, especially if they're wood or bamboo or plastic. Anything plastic that has a scratch in it, think about when you're cutting with a knife, the gluten gets stuck in there and you cannot get the gluten out. So you will most likely have to buy new cutting boards. This is a brand new cutting board. Same with baking pans. There's no way to get gluten out of baking pans, no matter how hard you try. So I just got a new loaf pan. I did not get a new muffin tin, because I really don't make muffins that much. So we got that. And again, watch out for your handles to make sure you're not secretly hoarding gluten in something. This is a bin on the top, and I just use a bin to store more things. This is just candy and marshmallows. This drawer is our food storage drawer. So we use Pyrex, and I was able to keep the glass Pyrex containers, but the lids, a lot of them still had scratches on them. Again, gluten can live in plastic scratches. You can't get it out. So I had to get rid of the lids. Luckily, you can get the lids on Amazon and not have to buy the whole glass set again. So I'm waiting on that. For now, I just foil the top if we use this to store leftovers. We have stainless steel bowls again. Those are okay. Stainless steel. These go, this is not plastic, this is a silicone material from the Planet box. So that is okay, and it doesn't easily scratch. I've had this for years and it's never been scratched, so silicone's a better option. Reusable snack bags, because these can get washed. And then we got mason jars with the lids. Again, I went through my mason jars. If the lids were scratched, inside the lids, I got rid of the lids. You can always buy new lids, but the glass itself is good, so I kept the glasses. And these are the mason jars where the lids still were in okay condition, that there wasn't a chance for cross-contamination. It's not so much the food that's going to get you with gluten-free, it's the cross-contamination. Alright, up here. This is kind of the lunch snack area, so I have little lunch snack supplies, stainless steel. Again, these are all that silicone material. Sandwich cutters, stainless steel. I used to have a really nice supply of food picks and fun things for lunches, but I had to get rid of them because, again, there's no way to get the gluten out. It's not worth the risk of cross-contamination. I have some cupcake liners and then some brand new food picks. There we just store my kids' lunch boxes. And then above the vent, we have cereal. I used to put them in nice, cute containers, which is all trendy now, but again, those containers were plastic. They had held cereal that was not gluten-free at one point. Had to get rid of them, so now I just keep them in the box. Spices, oils. So some, again, like I said, check your vinegars. Those can be a hidden source. I have a donut maker because it's really hard to find gluten-free donuts by me, so we usually just make them ourselves. And again, appliances like that, waffle makers, that's a big source of gluten. There's no way you're gonna get gluten off a waffle maker. If you had made something with regular flour and had come in contact with it, there's way too many crevices for a waffle maker. I used to have a really nice double-sided waffle maker, had to get rid of it. Again, the donut maker is brand new. Spices. Spices is a big one. You need to make sure you're checking your spices. They can have gluten in them. They won't necessarily say it. You need to do the research. I have a video up on some of the phone apps I use to scan foods to see which is safe, which is not. If you're not sure, you can always call the manufacturer. There's always a number on the back, but for example, I had a spice from Aldi, I think it was thyme, had gluten in it, had to get rid of it. So, anything pre-made mixes, you gotta make sure there's nothing in there. Measuring cups, again, I have stainless steel, so that's okay, but again, make sure you're checking. More spices, baking powder is normally gluten-free, but again, make sure you're checking. Vanilla is one. Vanilla, pure vanilla extract is usually good. Imitation vanilla extract can have gluten-containing ingredients in it, so be careful. And that's just more sprinkles. Again, check your sprinkles. Those can also contain gluten. We got chocolate chips and baking stuff. This one is more my pantry. So again, just snacks, baby snacks, gluten-free Oreos. I have coconut oil, protein shake, and apple cider vinegar. Pantry items, again, make sure you're checking things like tomato paste, diced tomatoes, anything that comes in a can, fruit, vegetables. Make sure you're checking that, and then we just have some extra candy back there. And then Ziplocs and foil up there. Alright, then we have this cabinet here. So we usually have plates in here, little plates, but they're in the dishwasher. Cups, bowls, again, everything I have is either glass, stoneware. I do not have any plastic actual containers. I have the Pyrex plastic lids, but again, no scratches. Didn't come in contact with gluten, so those should be safe. But again, check your stuff, make sure it's glass, make sure it's stainless steel, make sure it's stoneware, look for scratches. So that is all the bakeware. I have one 13 by 9, I have two 8 by 8s, or three I guess, 1, 2, 3 8 by 8s, and a serving platter. And that's it. And we're a family of 5. We have a couple pie dishes here, a little Corelle bowl, and a large Corelle bowl, and then a glass serving bowl. And this is stoneware again. I usually just use it to hold vegetables in. Alright. Then up here, above the sink, which, by the way, this is not how I would decorate my kitchen. This is how it is when we moved in. You can notice the lovely 2 different colors that the previous people tried to see if they liked the white, but then decided it wasn't so great. But it's a functional kitchen, so it is what it is. One day, hopefully it'll be different, but that's not a priority right now. So in here, we have rice in a glass container, sugar, glass container, brown sugar in a glass container. We have granola, coconut sugar, the flour we use, the Namaste flour from Costco. The oats, I know a lot of people with celiac can't tolerate oats, so you'll have to see how you do with that. This is the Beyond Celiac certification, so it's guaranteed to have less than 10 units of gluten in it, which product has to be less than 20 to have a gluten-free label. I'll make a video about that too. I have more sugar up there, and our rice ramen. Alright, and then this cabinet is our glasses. Again, we have all glass. Obviously, we can't have any plastic cups at all. We never really did to begin with though. So we have stainless steel straws or silicone straws that go with some of these. Like these silicone straws go with these glass. These are Life Factory bottles, so they are glass on the inside, on the outside. Then it has a silicone sleeve, so if you drop it, it doesn't break. We've always had these, we love them. It does have a plastic lid, so be mindful of that. So we have a couple different sizes of that. The smaller size we use for my 11-month-old, and then the 8-ounce, and then we have a stainless steel coffee mug back there. Tea can be a hidden source of gluten. Make sure you're checking your tea. Same with your honey if it's highly processed. So that's the tea we get. It's gluten-free. Mugs, again, all glass. We don't own any plastic. That's the Keurig coffee part, and then some bag coffee. Alright, and then we have our coffee station. And this is just used, another Life Factory bottle used to refill this water container. But the Keurig can be a source of gluten. A lot of flavored coffees have gluten-containing ingredients in them, so if you run it through your machine and make yourself a cup of coffee, that machine now has gluten in it. And I never thought about that because I was making my daughter cocoa with this, either using a pod or just using the hot water feature. Anything that runs through this has gluten in it. So we don't use this. My husband uses it for his coffee. I use it for tea, but does not come in contact with my child. Our little cake cups. Cake cups can be a source of gluten. Make sure you check that out. Again, we have tea and sugar, some more tea, gluten-free. My husband's vitamins back there, and his blood glucose meter because he is a diabetic. Then up here is our kind of medicine drawer and junk drawer. So this is medicine, extra medicine. We have current things, so a lot of this is just refills for these right here, but I keep it in a container to keep the kids out. Tylenol up there, antacids. This is our junk drawer. It has command hooks, the paint swatches we use for different colors of the house, tape, scissors, that kind of thing. This green thing is a lighter. Alright, let's see. Down here we have our cocoa bar. Again, all these things could contain gluten. Check your marshmallows. Not all marshmallows are gluten-free. We get the ones from Target, the Good and Gather ones, gluten-free. Smashmallow. Yeah, I think they're called Smashmallow. They're different flavored. Again, you can get them at Target. Candy canes can be a gluten source. I've had good luck finding gluten-free candy canes at Target. Same with candy. You always want to check your labels. Candy can be a source of gluten. So can cocoa mix. So I just make my own using the Hershey's baking chocolate, the baking cocoa mix, and sugar. But again, it can be a source of gluten. So I should really just name this video, this could have gluten in it, because that's the sad reality. A lot of things could have gluten in it. And these are the things we always have on the counter. I always have a drying rack. It's meant for baby bottles, but it's funny, I've never actually used it for baby bottles. But again, wooden utensils. If they had gluten on them, just throw them out. There's no way to get them clean. Scrub brushes. So sponges can be a source of gluten. Think about it. If you scrub something that had a gluten-containing ingredient, it's definitely stuck in those bristles. So even if you are gluten-free, it's a good idea to replace your sponge frequently. Soap. Dish soap can have gluten in it. All soap can have gluten in it. You need to check. This is gluten-free. Hand soap is a big one. People often joke, well, it's not like you're eating the hand soap. Well, my 4-year-old sticks her hands in her mouth all the time. So it is important for our household to have gluten-free soap. I enjoy the Everyone's soap. It's certified gluten-free. It's hard to find a hand soap that is certified gluten-free. But they also make a body wash and a lotion, and we use those too. So this is my favorite hand soap option. It's my favorite dishwasher, or we do have the dishwasher gel, but this is my dish soap. All right. Give you just an overview. You might hear my dog drinking his water in the background, but this is what our kitchen normally looks like. I'm thankful we did not have a lot of, oh, I forgot my cookie jar. This is the cookie jar, but it just contains gluten-free candy. Everything in here is safe. But again, this is what it looks like, and I'm thankful that we didn't have a lot of different items. Because if I had had a kitchen full of stuff, I would have had to get rid of the majority of it. So just be aware of the things you have, things like waffle makers, strainers, plastic, any Tupperware, wooden utensils, pots, pans. Make sure you're looking for that crevices. That's my dog, sorry. He just drank a bunch of water and coughed. Bakeware, tins, pans. Those are the things you need to be on the lookout for. Alright, this was originally a bread box, but we don't use it for purpose. And here we keep our knives. So, again, all stainless steel knives. And then again, I have bins because it makes the storage easier. And then if I need something, I just pull it out. So the first bin, we usually keep chips and pretzels, that kind of stuff. So here. And then these are the cooking utensils I use, but I don't use them very often, so I'm not constantly reaching for them, so they're kept in here. Can opener. Can opener can be a source of gluten. If you open a can that had gluten in it, like a pasta sauce, then you can't use it. This is a brand new one. Again, these are the extra utensils that came with the set I got, because even though I have brand new ones, I will be rotating these more frequently than I would have before. The Instapot insert. My KitchenAid is kept in a small hutch in my dining room. I did keep the KitchenAid. I kept the stainless steel attachment because I could clean that, but the mixing one that looks like this had a scratch in it, so I had to get rid of this. I kept the dough hook because again, it's got that covering. It should be safe, but I will eventually replace this as well. Lemon juicer. This is an icing maker. I had to get a new baster because again, that came in contact with sauces that contain gluten. This is a brand new basting brush. Again, it's that silicone material, not plastic. I had to get a new pizza cutter because that obviously came in contact with gluten, and also a pizza stone. Pizza stones are very porous. Any porous surface will hold on to the gluten. I have extra chip clips and an extra spatula, and these are stainless steel skewers for the grill. So those are all the extra utensils I have. I don't need a pot, so the Instapot is also kept in the hutch with the KitchenAid, and I have a few serving dishes, glass serving dishes for like holidays in there, but that is what is in the bread box, which is ironic since we don't actually use it for that, and we're gluten free. Alright, one thing I also wanted to mention was the freezer. So if you've made freezer meals, say you made waffles with your waffle maker before you realized you were gluten-free. If there's gluten-containing waffles in your freezer, you can't use them if you're gluten-free for medical reasons like celiac disease. If you made a freezer meal using the equipment in your kitchen that had gluten on it, you can't use those freezer meals. I made that mistake. I thought you could use the waffle maker if you really cleaned it. So I made waffles that were made with gluten-free flour, put them in the freezer so I could just pull them out. Can't use them. They were processed on equipment that contained gluten. So be mindful of that. That is one thing I overlooked over the time of going gluten-free the last 9 months. So a little tip, check your freezer. If you saved food in there, it could have gluten in it. So definitely the biggest hurdle we've had so far is cross-contamination. Not so much the grocery shopping, learning food labels, finding gluten-free food in itself. It's been the cross-contamination. So what is cross-contamination? Cross-contamination is when gluten comes in contact with something else. So for example, if I'm making a sandwich and I touch the bread. After I touch the bread, I touch the handle on my fridge. So that handle now has gluten on it. So anyone that touches that handle will have gluten on their hands. So say my 4-year-old daughter, who has celiac disease, touches the handle and then puts her hands in her mouth or goes to eat food without washing her hands first. She's essentially putting gluten into her body. So she is ingesting gluten. So that is why cross-contamination has been the biggest issue so far. It's very hard to get rid of it. We have deep cleaned our entire kitchen. I encourage you, if you are gluten-free for medical reasons like celiac disease, deep clean your kitchen, scrub everything down, get rid of what you can't clean properly, buy the things you have to replace, the wooden utensils, the baking pans. Watch what you're bringing into the house, make sure you're washing your hands thoroughly, and really look into cross-contamination, because like I said, it's been the hardest thing in the last 9 months of going gluten-free. And as I mentioned before, we had changed all the food. All the food was gluten-free, all the soap, everything was gluten-free. She was tested, she was still being exposed. So I know it was coming from something else. It was coming from cookware, it was coming from utensils. I had to dig deeper. So just be aware, cross-contamination, big issue. I hope this video helps you. I hope it gives you some ideas, some tips that I wish I would have had in the last 9 months. So I hope it helps. Thanks, guys.